much that good, but I think you all have problems understanding me as well. This is the second time that I've sat on this horse, so it is a little bit confusing. My legs, you know, every time you get on someone else's horse, you have to remember that someone gave it a different aid, someone used different reins, different legs, and a different seat. So I'm just finding the buttons with this horse. And it's very difficult to imagine what I can teach Dutch people about dressage, because you've won a lot of medals for a very long time. But I always learn something new when I come here, and if I look confused when I was riding Leatherdale in the young horse class earlier, because I had a Dutch lady in my ear, because I don't understand Dutch, so she was telling me to turn left at R, which is over there, and of course in Holland R is A. So I was told to turn left at R and leg heel to the side, and I thought this is the most difficult test I have ever done on a 5-year-old. So, anyway, now R and A is, I've sorted that out. So, when you are trying a horse and when you're thinking about what you want for the future, for me, the winner of the young horse classes is perhaps not the most important thing. There are certainly some horses that we have that are winners when they're young, and there are some that just are not ready to do those classes. So that the way that the horse is moving incredibly at 4 and 5 is not the most important thing, but how the horse is reacting. So a really good dressage horse has to do two things. Well, it has to do a Grand Prix as well, but it has to be able to sit and it has to be able to push. So some horses find it easier to sit and some find it easier to push, and the really good horses can do two things. They can sit and push. So that is obviously the biggest sitting is the pirouette and the piaffe, and the pushing is the extension and passage. So there are several things you have to think about. So Chippendale, as you know, he's coming 7 years old, and always you will find that the very good top horses, every rider has a good story to tell you. He was wild when he was young, he was hot, he was crazy, everybody fell off. All the things that you hear are probably true, because a very talented horse is a sensitive horse, and as a rider, the first thing that I always need to do on a sensitive horse is to put my legs on. So hot horses need your legs on, lazy horses need your legs off. So this is a sensitive horse. So if I'm riding down the long sides, you see I ride always a little shoulder forward, shoulders to the left, and then this is helping me keep my inside leg on the horse. And you know, when you look at a horse from the front, you can see that his hips are wider than his shoulders. So if you keep this little bit of position, so all I'm thinking is the inside hind between the front legs, and then I manage to get the horse straight. So all the movements that we talk about, the piaffe and the passage and the pirouettes, they're very difficult, but in fact, I always think one of the most difficult things in dressage is to get the horse really straight. So, like, if I come down the center line, then this is what we do a lot. We hold the head to the left to try and get the horse straight, but that's not straight. Even if the hind legs follow the front legs, me holding the head left is not straight. So, first I turn a little bit from the outside, the shoulder in, inside hind between the front legs, and now the head in front of the chest, and basic straightness. So every time you go down the center line, I was always told when I was learning dressage that what I should always think about is my first impression to the judge. And the first impression to the judge is a stray horse. And when I was working for the best Alzheimer's, he always used to say to me, if you can't come down the centre line and get an 8, then you're no good to me. So that was strong words, but it always made me think every day to work on strengths. And I trained here in Holland many years ago with Bert Rutten, who might be here, but I always thought that when you've done an Olympics or a World Games, that then everybody is going to buy you a horse. But that's not true. And Bert said to me, the best thing you can do to be a horseman is learn to train your own horses. So I said, how do you do that? And he said, get them on the hind legs. And that means getting them on the hind legs is self-carriage. So if you do a dressage test, very often the judge says, not in self-carriage. So you always have to say, what is self-carriage? Self-carriage is the horse with the nose at the furthest point away from the body, the poll up, and you should always be able to give the reins in the session. All the time, give the reins. And the horse mustn't go down here, up here, anywhere, on the bit. Really still stay on the bit in good self-carriage. So, if you are a trained rider, then almost every 20 meters, even though you can't see it, I just try and relax my hand and give the reins. Now, I think you can see with Chippendale, a supple horse. He has really good bending both ways, and it's easy to ride the half pass. So when a judge says your horse isn't supple, then maybe when they're looking at it, he doesn't bend so good to the right as he does to the left. And if you're a rider, then you probably know that most horses find it a little easier to bend to the right. So it's like riding a banana on the right and a bit of a stiff horse on the left. So that means your job as a rider always is bending on the left, straightening on the right.
So making your horse supple on both sides, and straight and in self-carriage, that is your biggest goal in the beginning of your horse.
That's my biggest goal. So maybe sometimes I think to myself always, can I stretch it? Can I collect it? Can I bend it? And can I straighten it? So if you can do all of those things, then you should have a supple horse. But it's also important to remember that if a horse is stiff, then you have to ride it to be supple. If you're always thinking when you bend him that suddenly the horse is supple, of course that doesn't happen. It takes sometimes years and months, and if you only have one horse, then it can be very difficult, because of course when things don't go very well, you get upset, your horse doesn't go very well, your husband gets in trouble, your job maybe is suffering. I mean, everything can go wrong. Remember that training a horse doesn't just go like this, it goes like this, up and down all the way to the top. So do we think that Chippendale has top potential in the canter? I think so, because the one thing I'm looking for is, can he collect? So the self-carriage, and can he collect? In other words, can I get to him really thinking short towards a pirouette? So I don't have to do a pirouette. I just need to know. If you look at the horse now, and you see that in his hind leg he's bending and he's taking his weight here on his hind legs. So that's important. If you look at a horse doing a pirouette, you have to think about the bottom of the horse and how he relaxes his hind legs when you get him short. Then I'm going to think somebody walking beside me, short, good, and then forward. So the only Dutch word I know, heel mooi, well done. He does that very well. So, again, you can see here, so my reins are saying walk, my legs are saying canter, and then the hind legs come quicker, so he goes under, 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 and then forward. Good. So,
I must say that's really impressive what you're doing, because you are the second time on this horse, and I think the horse looks obedient to your aids. He shows more or less a relaxed way of going, and a lot of potential in the canter to come back on the hind legs and to take more weight. Is canter work always what you're beginning with, or do you start normally with front work, or always with canter work in the beginning of a session?
Okay, that's a good question. What do I do in the beginning of the session? Well, I think horses like to canter, and I think that when we warm them up, I mean, I have 18 horses, but I also have 4 girls working for me, 5, and a boy. So it's easy, you can imagine, to really do the horses properly. So we're not in a hurry. First of all, the girls take them for a ride, then they come in the arena. Then somebody stretches them, so all the girls that have to ride for me have to be capable of riding without their hand, so that they just do this basic work. So this is nothing. When you're looking at it, it's nothing. But this is how the horse starts to use himself. If you look at the muscles in his neck, so that everything is loose before I do any flick work. So my girls have to do this for 20-25 minutes. Stretching, trot and canter, loose reins, the horse gets relaxed, the horse gets supple, and then Queen Charlotte and I then get on, and then we start to train. So the horses are actually at their stable a long time. They don't just do half an hour in the arena. So, maybe I could just...
Well, somebody's telling me that we only have a couple of minutes, but I think the people like what you are doing. So maybe I can ask you another question. Could you tell us something about what you feel when you're riding Chippendale? Do you think there is potential in this horse to do the massage piaffe, to do the more difficult movements from the Grand Prix in the future?
Yeah.
And he's 7 years old now. But looking into the future, what do you think?
Well, I think first of all, the horse has an unbelievable character to have a new rider and come into an arena and behave, let me ride it, and so first of all, the character is very important for the Grand Prix. And let's try a little bit massage. Is that massage?
Yeah, it looks like. Je mag klappen, dames en heren. En ook nou zien jullie hoe dit paard, 17 jaar oud, in deze ambiance dit allemaal verwerken kan. Ook dat is belangrijk. En wat Karel ook zegt, het karakter, het meewerken willen met de ruiter. I think cooperation from the horse with the rider, Karel, is also very important. The cooperation.
Yes. Cooperation is brilliant with the horse, and he also feels very swinging and soft, and the strides feel good. So, to me, the horse moves in his back, moves in his body, and he has a very nice presence.
Do you have special ways to test horses which you are looking at to buy? If they have the ability to do the Grand Prix work in the future? Do you have special tricks for it? Tell us, please.
Well, first of all, I say to the Dutchman showing me the horse, put the whip down. Because, waving this, and the horse is trotting like this, and then I think, well, I could make my donkey trot like that. With a whip and a big bag. So I really want to see the natural movement. In other words, I want the horse to be like quiet and relaxed, so I can see how natural the way he moves. And also when we ride them, the first thing I like to do is if I touch the horse with the whip, then I need to know that a good dressage horse reaction, hind legs under, and he pushes forward. No lazy ones for me, they can go to the policeman.
So quickness and engagement from behind is important for you.
Yes.
Reaction on legs.
Yes.
Okay, very good. I think it
Me
must...
and every other dressage rider, I think.
Okay, Carl, we have only, I think, 2 minutes to end up the demonstration. Maybe you can tell the people something which you want to tell at the end. Is there something special which you want to tell us?
Well, yes, I think the best thing I could say is that you have to have a training system. You have to be fair to the horse. You have to learn to stretch it, collect it. Doing the movements isn't so bad. I always think that every horse in our yard should be able to train Grand Prix. And they might not be top horses, but if you have a good system, you stick to it, it's repetition, that's what makes horses learn everything, then Holland will always keep doing that. How about that?
Okay. That's a good conclusion. Thank you very much, Carl.
Thank you.
Applaus, dames en heren.